Hi, I'm Danny Knightmare.
I'm Gory Movie.
And I'm
We filmed an opening, but it sucked, so we're gonna redo that. We're gonna go see what movie?
Godzilla.
Godzilla, yeah.
Godzilla!
King of the monsters.
Oh boy. This movie was boring.
Oh.
I had the hardest time staying awake through this. And it's really sad because this was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And this was a snooze fest.
I liked it a lot, actually. I love King Ghidorah in it. He is a giant menace, and he looked great. It took, almost 5 years since the last Godzilla, as we said, and I think they really put a lot of time into the CGI in this movie. Yes, it is a lot of CGI, I give it that, which can sometimes feel hollow, but they put good work into making it look good.
Some of the CGI is really bad. Most of it is really good, and there are parts of it, especially with Ghidorah, that I thought looked like 70s or 80s heavy metal album covers.
I also really liked how they kept Ghidorah's lightning to look exactly how it used to look in the old 70s movies and stuff. They didn't change it. They paid a detail on some of that stuff. I think Rodan's never looked better.
And the whole movie overall has a very blue palette, very blues and browns, and part of it is the lighting and the color scheme of the movie. It's a very drab looking movie. It's not a movie that really draws a lot of attention to your eyes. There's a couple places, like I said, where it has this cool kind of heavy metal cover to it, album cover to it that I liked. But for the most part, this was a very long movie, and it's not a good looking movie.
I think that's supposed to be, though, because it's kind of supposed to be really bleak. But I'm not saying
it's an action movie, though. It shouldn't be bleak. Pick a lane here.
Yeah, that's
Are
true.
we going to go bleak post-apocalyptic horror movie here, or are we going to go with an action movie that's supposed to get your energy pumped up? They needed to pick a lane. They tried to take both, and I think that failed. I think had they gone with a different color palette, it would have emphasized those monsters a little bit more. They would have popped more. I do think when the light, when the creatures have Godzilla has the blue lights, or when he's got the red, when there's the lightning, that's when it's the best. Mothra really broke it up a lot. I like Mothra's big wings. And the best parts of this movie are when the monsters are fighting. Even though we see the monsters more than we've seen in the past, they don't actually make contact all that much. What'd you say about that, LOLZ? You made a good point about that earlier.
The best movie for the past I could compare this to was Freddy vs. Jason. I mean, Freddy vs. Jason had really good fight scenes, but the story was not the best.
Yeah, the story for me, it wasn't that great. I'll admit, I didn't really care too much for the human stuff going on. I mean, 11 was kind of cool, but that's about it.
It's amazing to me because the acting in this is on point. When 11's crying, when Vera Farmiga's crying, you got Kyle Chandler, they acted their asses off.
I think
they got Zhang, who, from Crouching Tiger, she's in this. They even got Miles Dyson for a small part. They had Bradley, I can't remember his last name either, but from Cabin in the Woods. They had a phenomenal cast, people who acted their asses off. But you know what? Even the best actors only can work with what they're given, and this script is shit. This is some of the worst writing. This is writing that I don't think would even make a fucking TV episode. I don't know how this got past a board of people working on this movie. The characters all talk exactly the same. There are two scenes right before Ghidorah is about ready to blow fire. One's with an army soldier, one's with 11, and they both go, "Oh shit." I'm like, that's the exact same scene twice. I cannot tell you how many times somebody looked at the monsters and went, "Jesus." Then you've got the canned action movie lines, like the kind of "we're gonna need a bigger boat" type lines that are supposed to be funny, but we've heard them so many times that they're not funny. They're just canned action movie lines. This script was awful. The dialogue writing was terrible, and I cannot believe it was this bad. It was remarkably bad. That, for me, was the worst part of the movie.
Damn. You also forgot Ken Watanabe coming back, and he was awesome as always. I don't know. I think 9 out of 10 people would look at something like that, and they probably would say, "Oh shit." So I'm gonna give that a little bit of a pass.
Possibly. When 11 did it, it didn't, to me, feel natural, and it looked because it was the exact same, reacting to the exact same thing. It was both reacting to Ghidorah the first 2 times, Ghidorah or whatever it's called, Blue Fire. The first 2 times, like, mix it up. There are other exclamations, just and other cheesy lines. Like one part, someone's like "Mother of God," and they're like, "Oh, it's older." It's just like I've heard these lines a billion times before. It's like they got the Dwayne Johnson action movie playbook, and they're like, "Okay, what can we use for an exclamation? Oh, that'll work." It's so uncreative. It's so bland. It's so canned. It's passable at best, and the only reason it's not overly noticeable is they had phenomenal talent in this. They had the best of the best for the cast. They deserved a better script.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of Dwayne Johnson, though, we saw Rampage not too long ago, and they had a similar plot where they were using sounds to control the giant monsters, and that is kind of the main basis here. It wasn't something I was really that into. I didn't care about that whole plot. I didn't care about most of what the humans were doing, but I did get a lot more kaijus, and I love the kaijus. And if you are a buff on like the old Toho movies, there are so many Easter eggs and shout-outs to a lot of those old movies, and things that they're setting up for, things that they just kind of mentioned in passing. A weapon that was brought back from the classic Godzilla movie is still in this movie. Everything. I just loved seeing that kind of stuff come back to life.
Yeah, you really know your Toho. I don't. I tease you about it, but really I'm just jealous because I wish I had that massive knowledge. I don't have that like old school Toho knowledge, though. I do know it's not Toho, but I do know Gamera, and I really wanted a Gamera shout out, and I didn't get one.
I would love for Gamera to work his way into the universe somehow. I hope that maybe some rights are bought or purchased, maybe kind of the way like Spider-Man gets to be in the MCU. I kind of want, hopefully, maybe they can get Gamera into this universe.
Gamera doing a little spin on the pole like that. That's my jam right there.
Oh yeah, I would love some Gamera as well. But
I wanted more humor in this. They made a couple tries for jokes, and I didn't find anything in this movie remotely funny. This movie needed some humor. It really did.
It was PG-13, so I think some of those expressions you were saying, they had to be limited because they only were allowed one F-bomb, and once they used that, everybody else had to use the oh shit.
Oh shit, no, just, you don't need to swear to make an exclamation.
I know.
Great movies where they have humor, they have action, they have tons of excited characters making exclamations. Look at Thor Ragnarok. Fucking killed it. There are tons of great, we just saw Endgame. Endgame this year was great. The Marvel Universe does a fantastic job with action and humor, and there are movies that have done this well. This movie did not.
And I've always wanted a Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult to be in a Godzilla movie. However, that's probably never going to happen, and this is the closest we're ever going to get with a remix by Surge from System of a Down.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but
the cover of Pet Sematary, the Pet Sematary movie, was
way worse.
Cringeworthy.
This was okay, but
it was.
I would still rather just have Blue Oyster Cult. Yes, just put the original song in there. That's all I really want.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So, music-wise, there was a little bit of the actual old Godzilla song in there, too. I liked that.
You're talking about, like, Gojira?
Yeah, like the, just like the, yeah.
I'd have to go back and watch.
They had to, they put some of that in there, and I liked that, but overall, the soundtrack was meh, and pretty forgettable. I don't know, I liked it though. I'm glad I saw it in the theaters. I want to see giant kaijus fight.
This is a Michael Dougherty film because I kind of expect better from him. I really wanted this to be good. I honestly I don't understand how I know how they went wrong. The script was wrong. You have a bad foundation, everything you put on top of it is Jenga blocks and it's going to fall over. I liked the last Godzilla movie. I know it wasn't that popular with a lot of people, but I liked it. You know, I also have unpopular opinions when it comes to Godzilla, so take what I say with a grain of salt. I didn't like Shin Godzilla either. So, you know, I want a movie, if it's going to be monsters fighting, I want it to be fast-paced. I want it to be interesting visually to look at. And I think things like humor and, you know, good dialogue writing and stuff make the human parts of it a little more fast-paced.
Alright. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I'm glad I saw it, like I said. My problem with the original Godzilla in 2014 anyways was the enemies looked so bland on their CGI. This one I thought Ghidorah and I thought Rodan and Mothra looked great, so that's just my opinion on it. And I was happy to see them fight.
Their lighting could have been better on them, and I think their textures and their color. But I mean, I mentioned that, so.
Yep.
Mothra looked great. I think Mothra was awesome. Godzilla looks exactly the same as he did in the last movie, though he does have kind of a red look towards the end.
Well, that is another call out. When Godzilla had to fight Space Godzilla, yes, this was a thing, he does absorb some energy and goes full red, about to nuclear combust to bust out his final moves, and it's some disturbing imagery of how he likes to finish things in this movie. I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, it was
awesome.
cool. I liked that. So, like I said, if you really know some of those things, I think you would maybe appreciate this a little more, just of what they were showing you. But that's just me.
Yeah, I think I'm going to probably get some fanboy hate. I'm really sorry, guys. I don't know this stuff like he does. Dan is the Toho Godzilla expert. But just as a fan coming into this who's not somebody who's really followed, the old Toho movies, for me, it just wasn't good, guys. Here's the end. And we haven't seen this with a lot of the modern Godzillas, but they're giant titans. They're giant monsters. It's okay to enjoy that and be a little cheesy.
You should watch Rampage.
Unpopular opinion, I know, but I do think that it's okay. It's better to be cheesy than boring. I don't think that this franchise is a lost cause. I think the first Godzilla was good. I think Skull Island, it wasn't for me, but there are people who enjoyed it, and I think you guys are going to be divided on this, just like we're divided. I think some of you guys are going to have a really good time with this and have fun. I think some of you are going to be like me and be really disappointed. I think, we're going to see mixed reviews from this. I don't think it's a lost cause, though. I think that there is hope for another movie to come around and just be universally appealing to people. Like another big hit. I don't think this is going to be a big hit.
Yeah.
What did you think, LOLZ?
What do you give it? Thumbs up? Down?
Diagonal.
Diagonal.
just everywhere.
So you've got the full range here, because I am sorry, for me this is a hard pass.
I say see it, but you say?
I say skip it. I can't recommend this movie.
And LOLZ is somewhere in between. Let us know where you are down in the comments below.
That said, this movie will have its fans, and hey, if you love any movie with giant monsters, you're still one of the coolest people I know. So, props to you.
Cut!
Yeah.